reduce cholesterol, miracle margarine. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about margarine during the video, so just hold fire on all your margarine comments. Well, you can do it if you like. But anyway. Okay, so I tasted these a little while ago, but they've kind of gone a little bit cold now, but they'll be fine. Oh, and then Vegemite. Lid off and dive in. The secret to Vegemite is that it just has to be a thin scraping Vegemite on your bread, toast, whichever that might be. And the great thing about Vegemite is there's always a stack left on your knife. And then to top that up, I've got a slice of cheese. Open that up, and comes a slice of cheese. Pop that on top, and that got some of those little seeds on the other side, and that is a pretty nice bagel. Oh yeah, those flavours, the cheese, the Vegemite, the margarine, and the bagel, of course, work really well together. Move my margarine out of the way. Have a sip of coffee from this is my Vegemite cup, which when the level goes down a bit, I'll show you the Vegemite cup. There was a video recently, I think it was Mariah Carey, she was performing in Australia, and she said I'm going to try Vegemite, you see. She gets a spoon, puts it in the jar and comes out with a big chunk of Vegemite. I'm watching it on TV on the news, I think, at home going, oh no, it's not going to end well. She puts the spoonful of Vegemite in her mouth. I think she pulls a funny face and then like a face of discontent. What would be it? How would I describe that face? Anyway, a bit of a sad face, and she walks off the stage. The key to Vegemite is that it's just a thin scraping. I do enjoy the flavour. The interesting thing about Vegemite, let's see if I can see it. The salt is an astronomical amount of salt. I can't see that, can I? So, in the salt, I think it says 300 milligrams in 100 grams of salt, which is I might put a little comment. I just can't read that at the moment. My salt is too small and there's lots of lights. Wipe off the Vegemite. A little bit of margarine. Bring that into camera shot. Thin scraping of margarine. I'll wait to put that in camera shot too. A little bit of Vegemite, just a thin scraping. On top of the bagel. Put that there on the lid. Get myself a slice of cheese. And bagel number 2, or the second half. To be sampled, this is the other base. There's not the seeds on the base. Now, so I googled, is Australian margarine different to US, as in USA margarine? And it says yes. This is my AI overview. Yes, they are different, primarily because most Australian margarines contain very low levels of trans fats, while US margarines can still contain higher amounts. Due to the wider use of hydrogenation. Hydrogenation, here we go. Not sure what that is. And the difference is that Australian regulations and food industry initiatives have reduced trans fats for health reasons. Making the modern Australian products significantly healthier than many found in the USA. Now, I'm not, there's some more stuff there that you can pause the video and read, I suppose. What was I going to say? So this is not really a matter of sort of saying, you know, Australia's great or anything, but when I used margarine in another video, I got a lot of comments that said, you should use butter, and which is sort of, which is fine, I don't mind those comments, but I was kind of thinking it's sort of different to the messaging that I'd seen over the years about margarine. And the butter industry often have ads, or they have in the past, and they don't really bag Australian margarine on the health, for health reasons. They just call it pretend butter and other things like that. Butter tastes better, I think. Margarine is pretend butter. So anyway, so I appreciate your comments. used to be, it actually used to have another name until a few years ago, which was spelt C-O-O-N. So I won't, well that's better, there's no reflection. It's C-O-O-N, so I won't say that name, that word. But anyway, and what actually happened was that was the man that started the company, 100 or so years ago. That was his surname. I think that's the story. But that name, they've decided that name was no longer PC, but politically correct, so it had to change to cheese. I think like a lot of things, there was a small number of people that wanted it to stay the same, and a small number of people that wanted the name to change, and probably a lot of people, but didn't really mind either way, but could probably see the sense in changing the name. So it's funny that they came up with cheer. I suppose it had to still start with C. It's the same colours and branding and stuff. Probably a 3 or 4, 5-letter word, I suppose, is what they're after, starting with C. I'm sure there might have been a vote or something somewhere. And they came up with cheer. I suppose cheer is like a happy word, a positive word. To say thank you to somebody. We often say cheers. C-H-E-E-R-S, cheers. I'm sure other countries do that too. Cheers. Cheers, biggies. Okay. Another sip of Vegemite. Oh yeah. Or you can just see now that without spilling the Vegemite on the side of the cup. Okay. Bagel. Number 4. Bring that into screenshot this time. Scrape up some lovely margarine. I do like the way the margarine spreads. I know I could put butter in it. Butter and put it in a container. But I do like the way the margarine spreads in this one. The claim of this margarine is that it reduces cholesterol with active plant sterols, 500 grams spread. Okay. I probably should at the end of the video. I could do it now, I suppose. If you're interested, that's what the ingredients are. You could, pause the video there if you liked it to. And if that's of interest to you, okay, a little bit of Vegemite, a bit of veggie see the vegemite through it. Okay, now the last thing to show you, which probably should have been the first thing, was this packet of the Sesame Halves Bagels. Okay, this is what I was in Coles, CLLES, which is the second largest supermarket chain in Australia. And looking for inspiration for this video, and I found these packet of bagels, and I thought, man, I've had bagels in the USA. I've had them as well in Australia. So I'll grab a pack of bagels, and what was interesting is, oh, there we go, always taste no artificial colours. Oh, well, I didn't read that. Eat them with butter. Okay, I just had I just answered a phone call actually, so I'm back to the video. Another sip of my Vegemite coffee. Well, not Vegemite coffee. And I'll have another bite of the avocado. Oh no, bagel, that's it, bagel. I think I was reading these ideas with butter, margarine, eggs, bacon, avocado, salmon, cream cheese, or whatever. Right. This was the interesting things. These bagels have been baked in New Zealand using Australian wheat. All other ingredients have been locally sourced where possible and imported where necessary. So these must have been, well, they were baked in New Zealand, but they were frozen. When I picked them up at the store, some packets had been defrosted, but some were frozen, so I think to keep them fresh, they must have been frozen and air freighted or shipped, I don't know, to Australia, made in New Zealand, which I thought was made in New Zealand, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, average quantity per 100 grams. Sugar. Here we go, sugar. 3.7 grams. 0.75 I think it might be. Per 100 grams. Which is only 3.7% sugar. Okay, well. There was 4 there. Oh, there we go, a little best before date. Oh, they've stuck that on as an afterthought, just depending when they get unfrozen, I think. Best before the 12th of November 25. And I bought these on Monday, which I think was the 3rd of November. I brought them home. I might leave that there. I might leave that, let's say. And brought them home and put them in the freezer with the idea that I'll make this video, okay? Vegemite coffee. I've done a few where I've done there was the tea cake, and I can't remember I remember the videos. I just forgotten what I've called them. Vegemite. A lot of them. Oh, mine's gone blank about things I've done, but wasn't there a tea cake one that I did? That was really popular. I found that at Coles as well, so I was looking for something that's sort of similar, I think. Okay, so my camera is saying I've got 4 minutes to go, so I'll finish off the coffee. And I'll start wrapping